Folks, I'm sorry. There's just simply no way that I can continue to explore with my injured leg. I can make it back to the vehicle, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm hurting pretty good, so I'm going to focus on watching the sunset and then hiking back to my vehicle. My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Today, I'm out on a trail. It's late afternoon. Temperature is right around 48 degrees. It's beautiful. Folks, welcome to the Christmas lunch. I am out for a hiking trip. We are going to do some exploring and we are going to eat some good food. The most important thing is we're together. We're together in an incredible place. It's just beautiful. From me to you, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas holiday with your loved ones. Eat some good food, but not too much, right? Maybe watch a bad movie or a YouTube show. No, never bad, right? Let's see, we've been on the trail for about a quarter of a mile, and this trail is beautiful. Check this out. There's a picture in here. I'm gonna switch from video to photo and take a picture. What do you all think of that? When it comes to photography, it's all about the editing. It really is. Or at least for myself, I should say that. I am very much a fan of like surrealism. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. That's how it goes. Art is in the eye of the beholder. As I go about this trip, I will be taking some photos, and I will share those at the end of this video. Let me know what you think. I mentioned this in previous videos, but I do photography on the side, a lot of freelance stuff, and over the years, I've made supplemental income through that. Now those galleries, those were all private, but I have set up one that you all can see, that I can share with you all. And you will find a link in the description box down below. And if you want to buy some prints, go for it. I appreciate it. If you don't want to, I completely understand. Walking right on the edge of a hill kind of makes me feel sick. What about you all? I do not like heights. I never have. I mentioned before in the past that I want to go skydiving. I still want to do that. I haven't done it, but I am going to. Have you ever gone skydiving in North Carolina? If so, comment down below or send me an email and let me know where you went. That is something that I need to face, folks. In addition to being out for a hike, a good lunch, I'm also exploring. We are surrounded by old farmlands. All of this is federal land, but the land itself has been leased out for generations to local farmers and whatnot. So inside of the woods here, along that farmland, you have all sorts of hidden treasures. And today we are out to explore and to find some of those. Hopefully. We're not guaranteed anything, that's for sure. It is bone dry here, everyone. It's been very windy, the humidity is very low. We need snow. It's really not that cold either. It's dry and it's warm, for this time of year at least. It's so warm, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the black bear is still out. It's almost too warm to hibernate. I'm using the GPS on my watch here. I will talk about this in just a little bit. I picked this up during a Cyber Monday sale. because I wanted to test it out, agenda-free, bought it with my own money, test it out, and then later on, I'll share my thoughts about it. This is the Garmin Instinct Solar. It has solar panels built into the face, and as you hike, it charges. Plus, the battery life on this, it's insane. It's so good. By the way, folks, I am right-handed, and I wear my watch on my right hand. I never got used to the feeling of having a watch on my left. It just does not work for me. I don't like it. So yeah, there you go. Since we've come up to this gate, this is a great opportunity to talk about how to cross a gate and how not to. I've read the comments in some of my previous videos where there was a debate on how to do it. Some people would say next to the hinge, some said to go to the other side. The actual way to do it is in between those two. It really does depend on numerous factors. And I'll explain this super quick because really this is just common sense sort of stuff. But if you're not from the country, if you have no experiences with these type of gates, then it can be a little bit confusing. I've spent my life around these gates, I've installed plenty of these, and I could tell you how to cross them and how not to. Anybody who's grown up on a farm will tell you the same. So let's go over this real quick. First off, you have to consider the construction of the gate itself, and as you approach the gate, you can tell how it's been done, and that will tell you how to cross it, if it's locked and it can't be opened. In warmer climates, for gates under 16 feet, you're looking at 7-foot posts that are buried at least 2.5 feet deep. For gates that are larger than 16 to 20 foot, you're looking at 8-foot posts, and those are buried over 3 feet. Now, ultimately, the depth of the post depends on the location and the environment. In areas with colder climates, you have to bury the posts even deeper to avoid damage from frost. After the post is buried, it's time for the concrete, then comes the hinges and the bolts specifically will play a huge role into how strong the gate is and what type of weight it can support. Now, with this gate here, for an example, these feature screw-in bolts. They are very weak. In fact, when you use those, the gate will sag no matter what because they will come out of the wood. But if you use all thread hinge bolts, the ones that bolt on the back side of the post, those are extremely strong. They can handle a ton of weight, and you could cross those at either end. And that's because the bolt cannot come back through the post itself. Not only are those much stronger, but they can be easily adjusted. So the question is, how do I recommend crossing a gate? I would say go to the hinge if at all possible. But there will be times where that's not something that you can do. For an example, with my previous trip, which really spawned all of that conversation, the hinge side was covered in poison ivy. And that's a great example of one of those things where if you don't explain why, people flip out. It's a YouTube thing. The debate back and forth in the comments was pretty funny between people. There were so many comments, I figured that one day I would come across a gate and we could talk about it. With the gate back there, it uses screw bolts. You could see them from a mile away, plus the post itself. It's old, it's rotten. So with that one, I would try to go over the actual fence instead of the gate itself. But when that was put in, even with those screw bolts, the post, the gate, the hinges, it could have easily withstood hundreds of pounds on top of it. And that's because the hardware is much, much stronger than most people realize. By the way, if anybody ever has a question as to why I did something a certain way, feel free to shoot me an email. Ask. It's always best to ask a question than to assume something incorrect. You know what they say about assumptions, right? Anyways, folks, that's enough of that. It all boils down to common sense. I've mentioned the watch and how I'm using the GPS and all that stuff. It's keeping track of my pace and whatnot. I've gone 1.7 miles and it's been an hour and 2 minutes. I need to pick up my pace, get on top of that mountain before it gets too much later. All right, everyone, I have made it to the top of the mountain. All this beautiful farmland. Holy guys, this is what I was concerned about. That is the biggest pile of bear crap I might have ever seen. It is huge, and that is fresh, very fresh. Look at that compared to my hand. That came from a huge bear. Folks, that is gigantic. We may not do what I originally planned. Originally, I planned to go into the forest, set up a sort of camp there, and cook. But that's not a very smart idea, especially now that I know there's a big black bear around here somewhere. Also, because it's so close to hibernation, bears tend to be very aggressive for food. So, heading off into the woods may not be the smartest thing to do. As I hike here, if I come across a picnic table or something like that, that's where I will stop, instead of heading off into the forest where those bears may be. As far as the mileage goes, 4.46 miles. 2 hours, 18 minutes. After I shut off the camera and stopped filming, I made up some good time there. Also, I hopped off of the field and I'm now walking on a road. This road is closed. Closed for the year. Now folks, I don't want to sound like a weenie or anything or complain, but I have hurt my leg and I am definitely feeling it. Every once in a while, this old injury flares up, and I've done something on this trip to aggravate it. Oh man. Because of that, I definitely want to get off of this for a second, let it rest, and maybe some of this pain will go away. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. Oh, man. Stupid knee. That's how it works, though. Lunch. That is going to be so good. I cannot wait. How does steak, onions, fried green beans sound? Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I could smell it through my backpack. That was also a factor in deciding not to go too far off into the woods. I have this table here. I'm not going to use it as a table because I have this, but I will use this as a windscreen. The sun does not have much light left. Let's see here. About 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that. So yeah, it's definitely not at its maximum, so it is chilling down. I'd say right now, 45 degrees, something like that. Coffee time. Let's drink something that'll put hair on our faces. Oh yeah. My friends, cheers. Merry Christmas to everyone. I can feel the beard getting thicker. Let's pull out the skillet. Oh yeah. What we have here is my 6.5-inch Lodge skillet. Check that out. It's got the wolf on it. A viewer sent this to me. Thank you so very much. I've reviewed the 6.5-inch skillet in the past. It's a great product. I'm still using the ultralight lid. A viewer did send me the cast iron lid. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it big time. That thing is so heavy. I decided to leave it at the house. My God, that thing weighs a ton. It really does. For this trip, we're going as lightweight as possible. I do have a gear list in the description box below if you're interested in any of the gear that I'm using. So, oh yeah, everybody. I almost forgot. With the steak, we have bacon. Oh yeah. Oh man, everyone, that smells so good. That is unbelievable. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Once the bacon and the onions is done, we'll move over to the steak and then to the green beans. Then it's time to eat. That is done, my friends. Holy shit. I snuck a bite of the steak and it is unbelievable. It is so good. Okay, it's getting cold. Time for some gloves and a hat. All right, dinner time, let's go. Let's go straight up steak again. Unbelievable. That is so, so good. I seasoned this with Himalayan pink salt, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, basil, and sage. Let's do the onions and the bacon. You know you can't go wrong with that, that's for sure. That's really, really good, folks. I feel so fortunate. I have seen absolutely no one today. How incredible is that? I've seen no one, I've talked to no one. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It really is. As I'm sitting here, everyone, just kind of thinking about the state of the world, there's so many shortages. And I'm not just talking products and merchandise, I'm talking about people, manpower. So if there's anything that you need done, I think now is a great time to learn how to do it yourself. I mention this because Susie and I have been kicking around the idea of building a cabin at Lone Wolf Mountain. Off-grid, Susie and I build the entire thing ourselves, no one else. I think it's a good idea. It's something that I've been kicking around inside of my head for a while, and I brought this up to her the other day. I have some experience with construction, but don't get me wrong, that's not my superpower by any means. But there's no reason why I can't do it. Susie can't do it. There's no reason why you can't do what you want to do. Susie and I, we are going to do it. And we're going to share the journey with you all. Just in case you do not know, Lone Wolf Mountain is our piece of property that we own. We bought this a handful of years ago, back when the economy was really, really bad. That was under Obama. We paid 50% of the tax value on that property. Got it for nothing. Now the thing is, it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's funny because so many people are leaving the cities. Real estate out in the country is sky high. Anyways, yeah, so we bought Lone Wolf Mountain. It's about 20 acres. That's so that we could test out products, we could film videos, and that we could just get away from the world. It's about 50 miles away from where we live, and it's my favorite place in the entire world. I absolutely love it. It's so quiet, so peaceful. I never see anybody, rarely hear anything. As I get older, that's becoming more and more important. Seeing and hearing less people, turning off social media and all that crap, and just focusing on being out, having experiences, feeling the wind, right? The rain, the snow. It is 5:01. The sun goes down in 8 minutes. Perfect timing. Now let's head back and let's see if there's any sort of sunset. By the way, everyone, we have gone 5.2 miles. Now, this watch has a really cool feature to it. I could pause my trek and I can navigate back to start. Okay, 4.36 miles back to where I started. It's a really cool feature and it's very, very easy to use. It will tell you when you go off track, off course. It will tell you when you get back onto the track or on course. For myself, as someone who goes off trail often, this is a really nice feature because no matter what, you can find your way back out very easily. Also, it's a great backup to your primary GPS or mapping software or paper map, whatever you use. As I've said many times, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So anytime that you're relying on something, you better have a backup if it's important. Incredibly beautiful. I feel so lucky to be up here right now where I'm at. I had a great lunch, hung out with my friends. Now it's time to hike. Ooh, yeah. My leg is feeling it. While I hike back to the vehicle, I'll share the photos that I've taken on this trip with you all. I'll throw in some extras as well that I've taken within the last couple of weeks. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this trip. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for everything that you've personally given me this year. Kind words, the messages, the emails. I appreciate it all. I really do. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas. Take care, be well, strength and honor. I will see you next week. I've got a leg I need a rest. Soon, very soon.
So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I wanted, sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy, sweet. Yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I wanted, sugar like yes, Chasing after the way you love me. Keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so la.